Hi, everyone. It's me, Pete Wagner, your ambassador to Brown-Forman. Today, we are talking about Jack Daniel's Single Barrel family. To talk about Jack Daniel's Single Barrel, we have to talk about Jack Daniel's. Whether it's Gentleman Jack, Jack Daniel's, or Single Barrel, it's all essentially the same product. 80% corn, 12% barley, and the rest is rye. It's where it falls in the barrel house that differentiates. All Jack Daniel's gets mellowed through 10 feet of charcoal. With Gentleman Jack, you have a marriage of barrels from the bottom floor in the barrel house. Bottom floor means it only soaks a third of the way in the barrel house. It's also the only whiskey in the world that goes through charcoal mellowing not once, but twice. Once before it goes into the barrel, and then a second time through 4 feet of charcoal after it comes out of the barrel, getting rid of some of the sharp notes from the barrel itself. Regular Jack Daniel's. It's a marriage of barrels from all parts of the barrel house, and then Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. It's exactly that. It represents the flavor profile of just one barrel on the top floor of the barrel house. Now, when we talk about these barrel houses, I want you to think about your house if you forgot to pay the power bill. At Jack Daniel's, the barrel houses are essentially 2x4s with a tin roof. Mother Nature does all of the work. Now, think about your house. In the winter, if you forgot to pay the power bill, you go down in the basement, it's going to be warmer, it's insulated, you have the house on top. Up in the attic, it's going to be a lot colder. The snow's on top, and the wind is blowing up there. In the summer, cooler in the basement, it's insulated. And then upstairs, radiant heat, sun shining down. Less of a temperature fluctuation, huge temperature fluctuation. And that's where Jack Daniel's Single Barrel comes from. That top floor in the barrel house, where your typical barrel loses anywhere between 3 to 7% every year. Jack Daniel's Single Barrel loses roughly 50% of what we put into it due to evaporation. That's that angel share. So as it sits in that barrel, it's breathing in and out. It's constantly pulling all those tannic notes from the barrel. But also, quite often, the sugars will oxidize over a period of time and it will get softer on your palate. And that's what we have with Jack Daniel's Single Barrel. It is a full-bodied whiskey with the flavor profile of just one barrel. Let's talk about the barrels. Brown-Forman, the company that owns Jack Daniel's, Woodford and Old Forester, it is a family-owned liquor company. It is the last American-owned liquor company, and we are the last major liquor company that makes their own barrels. Think about that. American whiskey's 100% of the color, 60 to 70% of the flavor from the barrel, and we are the only ones that make our own barrels. So, every barrel has roughly 30 staves in it. That's the pieces of wood that are in that barrel. And that represents different tree farms from around the United States. The trees that grow down south are going to grow faster because it's warmer. That makes them more porous. The trees up north, colder, less porous, if that makes sense. On top of that, no two trees taste the same. Sounds weird, I know, but think about this. Different mineral content in the soil, in the water, that means that no two trees are going to taste the same. If every barrel has roughly 30 staves in it, now that could be anywhere between 26 up to 34. Think about that. They're that thin to that wine. That means that you could take two barrels side by side, put the same juice in it, age it the same amount of time, and they are not going to taste the same. So, with every Jack Daniel's Single Barrel, you are getting the flavor profile of just one barrel. If every barrel gets roughly 250 bottles, every 250 bottles, the flavor is going to change. Easy to talk about. Let's take a sip. Now, right off the bat in smelling this, you get that gorgeous nose that is associated with Jack Daniel's. You're getting the oaks and the vanillas that you expect from a well-crafted whiskey, but there's also fruit floral notes. There's that banana note that we're getting from our yeast strain. There's oaks, there's caramels. I'm getting a little bit of everything. Let's take a taste. Oh, fantastic. This one in particular has it all. I'm getting a softness, a sweetness. This one is from one of the warmer spots in the barrel house. It is velvety. It is like a mid-rare filet on your palate, but then the spice shows up in the back. It's complex. The more I taste it, I'm getting baking spices. I'm doing the Tennessee Chew, and it just evolves. There's tobaccos and leathers. Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof, an adventure for the whiskey drinker, something as a treat for the Jack Daniel's fan. Delicious.